Hello and welcome back to Oversteer Auto Reviews. Today I am here at Dwayne Lane's Subaru to review this 2021 Subaru WRX. This is a vehicle I've been wanting to review for quite a while. Today I have the opportunity to do so. Without further ado, let's break this vehicle down and complete our review. The front end on the WRX is something I do quite like ever since I laid eyes on it. I like the fact that most of the vents up front are functional. This lower portion right here is 100% functional. The grille has mainly functional vents, and the hood scoop is 100% functional. It does feed air directly into the intercooler. I like the Hawkeye headlights, which do have adjustable head beams. When you do turn the steering wheel, the lights will adjust based on steering input. It'll give you a better view of the road. The fog lamps over here are LEDs, and they have a interesting carbon fiber mocked border around them. I don't know how to feel about this, but it doesn't look bad, especially with this magnetite gray color. I do like the color on the vehicle. I think it suits it quite well. Not the Subaru light blue, but this is actually the color of my choice on what I'd get on my own WRX. Let's move on to inside the engine bay. Now underneath the hood you will find this 2-liter turbocharged flat 4-boxer engine, which I like for two main reasons. The first reason is because it sounds good. The second reason is since it's a flat 4, meaning the cylinders move horizontally instead of vertically or in a V configuration, which means that the engine sits lower to the ground in the front of the vehicle, which does improve turn response and handling. Now this engine does produce 268 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and this is a 6-speed manual version of the vehicle. This vehicle does come with an optional $1,600 CVT automatic transmission, which I would just say don't even look at, go with the 6-speed. Those all will get you to 60 in just 5.2 seconds, which is, well, it's quite good for a 4-cylinder vehicle. Now here we are at the wheels. These are 18-inch by 245mm width all-around aluminum alloy wheels. They look quite good. I think these look better than the base WRX wheels and not as good as the STI wheels or the actual STI wheels that you get on a STI. And what I mean by that is you can get a STI appearance package, which will give you wheels and an exhaust, and that does cost a bit extra, but at that point just buy a base model WRX STI. Now I do like these front fenders, and this is really what gives the WRX most of its character. As an enthusiast, this is probably the easiest recognizable vehicles on the road simply for this front fender and rear fender shape. I also like the WRX implementation on this front fender. If you get a WRX STI, this right here will say STI in bold red letters. At the side of the WRX, it's really just a sedan. There's not much special going on here except for the fender flares, this single body line, and this really wide side skirt, which is there really just to make the front fender flow into the vehicle a bit better, and I do like it. The doors have a nice medium weight feeling to it, and they do close quite easily. The vehicle also has keyless entry, so I just locked the vehicle. I need to unlock it. Stick your hand in, then open the door. Works all very well. And then you have the rear door, which is decently sized as well. Let's go on to the rear. Now here we are at the rear of the WRX, and I do like the rear end quite a bit as well. The entire vehicle is designed quite well in my opinion. These taillights are very distinguishable on the road. They do look very good, especially with the somewhat boxy design of the vehicle. The headlights flow into the design very well. You have Subaru badging over here and symmetrical all-wheel drive badge because this has a 50-50 split in the differential for better handling. You also have the WRX badge here in chrome. The lower portion has this carbon fiber diffuser with the quad actual real exhaust tips, which I do like quite a bit. Most vehicle manufacturers aren't doing this anymore. They have just bumper build-ins for where the exhaust exits and about 4 inches before. I do like the lip spoiler as well and the blue Subaru badge. Now let's open this trunk. Not automatic opening, but that's okay. It's a Subaru. You have the trunk, which isn't too big and it's not too small. This is quite close to the back of the car, so I will try to do a trunk test without hurting myself. Now I cannot actually go back because the back of the trunk does taper in a bit, and I am feeling a bit tight in here, but really it's not that big of a sedan anyways, so you don't really have to worry about having too much trunk space. This should do quite well for your average grocery run. Now here we are in the rear seats on the 2021 WRX. This is at my desired sitting position in the front, and I'm quite comfortable. Except for headroom, which is about 2 inches, my knee room's great at around 4.5 inches, and foot room's not that bad really. I also like that this is the limited trim, which means that we get black leather seats with red stitching. They look very good. The door panel has soft touch leather with hard touch plastic over here. We also have a plastic grab handle and a small water bottle holder on the left. The door locks are also analog on this 2021 vehicle. The rear seats really don't have much going on. There is no rear seat air conditioning vents, which is a minus for me, because if I do have to sit back here, I do want to have my own vents instead of having to ask someone in the front seats for their air. The center console is also quite boring. It does have 2 cup holders with the rubber slots in them, so your drink doesn't go anywhere. Overall, I'd say it's a good rear seat. It's just missing some air vents. Here we are in the driver's seat on the 2021 WRX. Let's start with the door panel. Pretty much like the rear, the soft touch and the hard plastic, you have your mirror switches over here and your mirror adjustments right over here, along with the bottle handle. This vehicle does have the Harman Kardon sound system because you get the optional $2,100 Starlink system, which is situated in the center. I'll show you that in a bit. And that gives us the Harman Kardon system and the lane departure assist warnings. You also have the settings for your display over here, your brightness over here, your trunk release button, your traction control off, your hood latch opening button, and your gas cap release button over here. I like the steering wheel quite a bit. It's completely leather wrapped with red stitching. It looks very good, feels very good as well. It's nice and thick, which I like a lot as well. You'll notice that there are no paddle shifters because this is a 6-speed manual, and I've got to say that's always a plus. You have your volume buttons on the left with the source button and your voice assistant button on the left as well. And on the right, you do have the cruise control buttons. Overall, I'd say the driver's seat is a nice place to be because these seats are very nice and comfortable. They bolster you quite well, and the position and view you have is very nice as well. You don't have any blind spot because the mirrors don't just cut off. There is a window over here, and it looks absolutely great. Let's show you this system right over here. Here we have the 6-speed manual shifter, which does feel quite good. And if you did want to put it into reverse, you have to pull up this latch all the way right and then back, and the vehicle will pop up the rear view camera, which does have, I'd say, older resolution. This could definitely be improved in future models, considering the fact that the 2021 Subaru WRX has been rumored already. I'm guessing it will definitely be improved. Now this does have the Subaru Starlink system, which is pretty much just an app which you can connect to your phone, and that will give you more options. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well, along with Pandora. All you have to do is sign in. Other than that, it's pretty much just basic, and you don't have much options other than that. The other display over here does show you quite a bit of information, and it's controlled by this switch right over here. What you can do is push it up or down. This will show you how your vehicle's suspension and body are doing in relation to the ground. And then you have your MPG options, you have the time, and then you have the boost and power options, which are shown over here. It does say a peak 20.1 psi. I don't know if the turbo can actually spool up to that, but if it can, that's pretty good. The center does have this carbon fiber trim over here. I'd say it looks good. It doesn't look too fake either. You have the climate control adjustment options in the center right over here. This vehicle also has navigation with the Starlink system. Considering the fact that it's $2,100, you get the speakers, you get some safety options, and you get this display, I'd say it's a win. Now behind this shift knob, you have this base plate where you can rest your phone along with a cigarette lighter. You have 2 large cup holders and the seat heating switches right over here, which is always good for both the driver and passenger. And behind this, you have a little baby cubby, which does have 2 USB-A ports, an aux cord, and another cigarette lighter. Subaru definitely knows their demographic for the WRX, if you know what I'm talking about. Now overall, there really isn't much more to go over. I've pretty much done what needs to be shown. This is ideally just a driver's car, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm very excited to drive this 6-speed manual. Let's get on the road. Here we are driving the 2021 Subaru WRX. The car goes and it goes and it goes. It just keeps going, especially with those very nice crisp shifts. The clutch feels really good, not too heavy, and the throw on the shifter really isn't bad either. If you do want a short throw shifter, you're gonna have to get an STI. Just a quick little acceleration over there. You can see the car gets up and goes pretty quickly. The turbo does spool up pretty quick, and it does sound very good, especially in the cabin. The noise of the turbo is quite apparent, which I like. The other noises that are cancelled out, however, are tire and wind noise, except on the highway, which I'll show you in a bit. I do like those as well. Steering is great on this 2021 WRX. It's very nice and dialed in, which I like. Where you point the wheel, that's where the nose of the vehicle goes. Here we meet a 2020 Subaru WRX STI with that amazingly large STI wing. That's pretty much the only reason I'd get an STI in the first place. Well, not really, but it's part of the reason. Here we are about to merge onto the freeway, and just before that you're going to see some of the suspension. Rebound stiffness is actually quite stiff. It does feel a bit jolty when you go over a bump at speed, but overall suspension is very comfortable. Now I'll let you listen for that wind noise and tire noise on the freeway. Overall, I do like the vehicle. I think the WRX is a good driver's vehicle with this 6-speed manual transmission. It really only has one other competition, which I'll list shortly. Since we are comparing 2021 model years, the Civic Si is no longer available for 2021. It'll probably be coming for 2022. So really the Golf GTI is the only competition with the 6-speed manual transmission. Now I like the way this Golf looks on the exterior. I'd say it does battle very fairly with the WRX in terms of exterior front styling. Moving on to the rear styling, also very nice, kind of understated like the WRX as well. I do like the wheels on the Golf GTI better. Again, interior, black leather with red stitching. You can see the 6-speed manual with the 3-pedal setup and the small head unit and other gauge clusters, which do match very well with the WRX. In the end, I'd say it just boils down to user preference and what you'd like more. And that is the complete review on the 2021 Subaru WRX. This vehicle has definitely exceeded my expectations, especially in interior build quality. Now, for $36,000, which is the price of this specific vehicle, consider the fact that this is the limited trim level, the trim level one below the STI, which is the top of the top. But this is actually a very good car for $36,000. There's really nothing like it. 6-speed manual, very good powertrain, and very good drivetrain as well. I do like the way this car looks and handles, and it is also extremely modifiable. You can do pretty much whatever you want with this car. Add more power, go ahead. You want to stance it out and add negative 13 degrees of camber, go ahead. This is really just a versatile, good-looking, everyday driving vehicle. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Especially thanks to Dwayne Lane's Skagit Subaru for hosting me today. Remember to keep on driving.